The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's this 2012 to 2016-ish sort of period that you've predominantly focused on, you know, writing about US artists. And then you said, then it kind of merged over into the Aussie stuff. Now, that's around that 2016 period. And in 2016, you actually dropped a song with a film clip called Chinatown Champ. That's correct?
That is absolutely fucking correct.
Now, for me, that was that came out of left field when we were doing the research, because I don't know you as an artist. Like we said at the start, I know you as the behind the scenes guy. So tell us a little bit about what that was all about. Like, is that a point in time where you obviously considered becoming a rapper, and what influenced you to have a go at that? And is that the only 24 Karat Kev song that's out there, or is there more stuff out there?
Yeah, so yeah, it's funny you asked about that. It's because like a lot of people that know me now, they have no idea about that song. They have no reference point. You know, a lot of the kids that know me now from Spanian or 1-4, you know, they're 18 years old, and you know, back in 2016 they would have been 10 or whatever. You know, they have no reference point for that sort of stuff. So it's like funny that you asked me about that. But yeah, basically, I guess journalism-wise, I always had a personality. Like I had a brand. Like I was a very front-facing kind of journalist. You know what I mean? Even though I was kind of behind the scenes, you know, I was really active on socials and trying to push my own brand into becoming like not an influencer, but just being known, you know, for stuff outside of just, you know, my byline on an article or whatever. Around 2015, 2016, my friend Adam, he's in a techno duo called Word Life, but he does a lot of work with Heaps Decent. For people who don't know that, it's kind of like an initiative. They go around to remote communities or juvenile justice centers, and they teach kids how to rap and how to make music. And, you know, a lot of the young guys like Rops, for example, you know, one of his first, you know, recorded songs was through Heaps Decent, you know, and when I interviewed him, he shouted out all the Heaps Decent guys and said, you know, that was a really formative step in me pursuing music, because these guys were coming around to, you know, the juvies or the jowls and, you know, teaching us how to make beats, how to record and doing all this. So yeah, my mate Adam, he was inclined to the hip hop stuff because he'd been doing the Heaps Decent stuff. And I'm pretty sure he still does it nowadays. So shout out to him, but you know, it's a really important thing that he's doing. He was outside of techno, he was doing the hip hop stuff through that. And, you know, we were just friends. So one day he was like, come down to the studio, and, you know, he was just playing me a couple of beats and we were just joking around, and he was like, why don't you record a song? And I was like, what the fuck am I going to say? You know, it's not like I'm not street. I'm not like, you know, doing this or doing that. You know, I don't even really know what I'd rap about. And we just flirted with the idea of just doing like a joke song, essentially. Like, you know, people were like, oh, is it a joke song? And I'm like, in my first 4 bars, I compared myself to Jay-Z. Like, if you don't understand that it's a joke, like, I don't know what to tell you, but you know what I mean? The whole thing was so stupid, and I'm sure people have seen the video clip. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, all my mates are in it, and we're doing dumb shit, lying in jacuzzis and doing this and doing that. So yeah, we just decided to drop this song as a joke. It was essentially just a test to push my brand and just see how stupid it could become. And, you know, like, obviously I had a lot of ties in the journalism world back then. So, you know, I was sending the song to my mates who wrote at different magazines, and I'm pretty sure like Acclaim covered it, Purple Sneakers covered it, Pile Rats covered it. I think Vice did a thing on it. Like, it was just so stupid. Like, it was just so dumb. And then it kind of, importantly, like my first ever journalism job, I worked with a guy who runs Brown Cardigan. So when Brown Cardigan shared it, that was when it really kind of started taking a life of of its own and started going crazy, like as a bit of a meme or whatever. And then yeah, we just dropped the song. And then I remember back then, like guys who were using their real Facebook profiles to comment underneath, and I had no idea who they were. And then now looking back on it, it was Mitchos de Menace, it was Husky, it was Kid Curve, it was all those guys who were commenting, but off their real Facebook profile. So I had no idea who these guys were. You know what I mean? Because like back then, yeah, like I said, I only really knew Fort. Fort was like pretty much the only guy I knew from the underground on a personal level. So yeah, all those guys started commenting on it, and then I got booked for a gig at Club 77. They paid me $500 for a 15-minute set, but I had one song. So Phil Fresh, who's another Sydney rapper, I paid him $100 to do 2 songs and hype man for me. I paid Ness, who's another one of my day one friends. She DJ'd for me for $100, and then I kept 300. And then Phil did 2 songs. I played 1 song, and that was my one and only live performance. Apparently, a promoter wanted to book me for Designer, but then Ivan Ooze or some shit got the support, and then there was some sort of police situation where they couldn't book. I don't know. It was weird, but they were going to book me for a Designer support. And I was like, this is just so stupid. Like, and looking back on it, like, obviously the whole thing was just a piss take. But like I said, you know, that was how a lot of those guys in the underground knew me, like originally, you know, like they knew me off that song. And I remember like the first time I met like Husky and those boys, they were all like, fuck man, we used to bump your song. Like that was crazy. You know, like it was so stupid. Like the whole thing was ridiculous. And now it's not even on YouTube anymore because it was on my ex-girlfriend's YouTube page. And then when we broke up, she deleted it off that, but it's on Facebook. So anyone that wants to find it, it's somewhere on Facebook. If you search hard enough, you can find it. I kind of like that it's hidden now. You know what I mean? Like if people really want to find it, then they'll find it. Yeah.
And so was that the only song that you recorded and released and that was it?
Yeah, bro. And you don't know how hard that was for me to record. That was like 32 bars or something. And by like the 18th bar, I was like, I have nothing to say. Like I literally have nothing to say. And Adam was on the decks being like, no. Like say something more. And then, you know, like eventually I just wrote down the most ridiculous shit I could think of. And then it became what it was. And yeah, like it just became so, like still to this day, bro, like people at work and are just like, they don't believe that it happened. They're just like, where do I find it? I'm like, if you find it, you find it. You know, if you can't, you can't. Like, that's it. Yeah. That's the only song. That's it.
And then so because you've dropped one song and now, you know, it's caught on, you know, people are writing about it, people are sharing it, people are commenting on it, you're getting booked, you know, for this show, and now other people are maybe looking to book you. That didn't at any point in time make you think, oh, maybe I should continue this? Or you knew straight away, like, I've done it and I'm out?
Yeah. I mean, people still today ask for when the sequel's coming. I'm like, it's been like 6 years, man. Let it go. I've moved on. I probably could have, but then again, like, the whole thing was, like I said, it was basically like a joke mixed with a branding exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like I was never out there trying to become a legitimate artist. I know that some artists have done that. Like, you know, Rich Brian's a really good example of someone who released kind of like a meme-y big song and then became a really legitimate artist. Obviously he's like the biggest Asian hip hop artist in the world now. But yeah, like I didn't really want to go down the joke route again. And also like back then I was kind of like building steam with the writing stuff. So it was kind of like, I probably could have done both, but like also I was kind of like, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if it would have been genuine if I was doing it. Like, it's just a piss take. And you know when a piss take goes for like a bit too long, it's just kind of gets a bit like, oh God, he's still gone. So yeah, I was happy to leave it at one song back then. Looking back, like, I'm like, yeah, like, I probably could have done maybe a bit more and then evolved into like a DJ Khaled kind of like orchestra. Like, you know, people ask for if I'm going to do a project and I'm like, I've always said, if I'm going to do it, it's going to be like a Khaled style project where I'm getting producers, singers, and rappers that I like and kind of throwing them together and then seeing what happens. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I would see any sort of musical involvement for me now. But yeah, no, I think I'll leave it at one. A lot of people took it the wrong way. A lot of people took the track the wrong way. And I'm like, fuck, if you can't take a joke, you can't take a joke, whatever, you know? But I'm happy to leave it at one, yeah.
And so why the title Chinatown Champ?
I guess back then, yeah, there was just not that much Asian representation in hip hop, really. I mean, nowadays it's a lot better. You know, we got 1300, 3K, Yellow Boy Tommy, Crazy Cam. I'm sure I'm missing some others, but yeah, it's a lot healthier nowadays. But back then, it was more just like, yeah, I don't know, didn't see that many Asian rappers, and not that many Asian rappers, especially with like this sort of accent. So I just thought it was funny. And it was like we got a really big Asian population in Australia, and also geographically we're so close there. And I really feel like, a lot of rappers nowadays, when they think about breaking, traditionally it was always the US. And then, obviously with drill and grime, popping off, in the more recent years, people have more been looking towards the UK. But people don't realize how much of a massive market Asia is. We got such a huge Asian population here. Geographically, it's a lot easier to tour there, and that's a huge market. You see all the K-pop stuff coming through in recent years as well. Even Australian guys like Rule. I know he's not strictly hip hop, but he's managed by hip hop guys. Rule, who's like the big R&B pop whatever singer. When I'm pretty sure he's like gold or platinum in Korea. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really think it's important for people to think about Australia and our proximity to Asia and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just like putting it on for the Asians. Yeah.
the lesson. 927. Oh yeah.